Hello. I hope this finds you and your families safe and well. I thought I should take the opportunity to offer more direct briefing to all of you and an update on the current situation as seen from here in Skagen. Over the past week or so, many of you have called in to seek advice, particularly given the volatility in the market. The most common questions that people have been asking are, how has Skagen prepared for the current outbreak? What is our advice to clients who are afraid about their savings and worried about their financial security? And how are the Skagen investment teams dealing with the current situation? And I'll try and spend a little bit of time addressing each of these questions in turn. So how has Skagen prepared for the coronavirus situation? I think the first thing to say here is that we have the advantage of working in a regulated industry. So we are required to have in place a range of contingency plans for different kinds of scenarios. As a global and emerging markets manager, we look across the world, and so we were tracking the events in China and in the Asian region generally quite closely. And certainly once the extent of the challenge from COVID-19 was clear, we were quite fast to put in place measures to address it. I also had the advantage of a previous career in which I had encountered pandemic outbreaks before, and we were able to incorporate this experience into some of our planning. As of today, the majority of Skagen personnel, in common with many other industries in Norway, are working from home. But we have a number of different offices both here in Norway and abroad, and we have some manning of those as well to ensure that essential systems and processes are operating correctly. Our data infrastructure is the critical enabler, and I'm pleased that so far that is standing up well. And we also have significant flexibility and backup built into it, so I'm very confident over it. As of today, all systems and processes are running well, in some areas even better than normally. My focus now is essentially threefold. It's first of all the protection of Skagen's employees. It's secondly maintaining our investment operations. And thirdly, it's communicating clearly and frequently to Skagen's clients so that they can make the right decisions. And of course, we expect the current situation that we're in to continue for some time, and we need to plan for that accordingly. Turning to the second question, what is our advice to clients worried about their savings and their financial security? I think it's entirely normal for clients, and indeed all investors, to be concerned during periods of market volatility, particularly the extreme volatility that we see currently. What is not all right is to act without thinking, or on the advice of the armchair experts that currently seem to be filling the social media space. There is probably only one piece of investment advice that I can give that is true for everybody, and that is, if you are in any doubt, please seek advice from Skagen. The fact is, the situation for each of you is different. What matters is your own investment horizon and your own tolerance for risk. Both of these are very personal to each and every investor. If you have received advice already from a Skagen advisor, then you will have decided upon a long-term investment strategy. And I guess, depending upon your circumstances, that strategy is equally correct today as it was when you set it. Also, some of you have asked about Skagen's financial health and whether or not this is tied in any way to your investments in our funds. The simple answer to this is no. The truth is, Skagen is a well-capitalized and solvent company, and we test this on an annual basis. We're also part of a much larger group, the Storebrand Group. But I think it's very important to understand that in Norway, the investment funds are entirely ring-fenced from Skagen. No matter what happens to Skagen, the investments in the funds are protected by law from this. Either way, if you are worried, we are here, whether at home or in our offices. We have ceased face-to-face contact with clients, but we're available by the phone, by video, by webcast, and indeed by email. Please do contact us, and we will offer you the best advice that we can, and based upon your exact circumstances. And even if you just want to talk to somebody, do please call us. We are here to help. So how are the Skagen investment teams dealing with the current situation? I think the first thing to say here is that the Skagen investment team is ideally suited to dealing with this kind of situation. That's why we selected them for the roles that they have in the first place. Market volatility in periods like this presents both risk and opportunity. We know from long experience that the loss of capital will be temporary. But we also know that some companies and industries will suffer long-term damage. Here, the advantages of active management, as we practice within Skagen, and especially within broad mandates, are very clear. The approach of the Skagen portfolio managers will combine both the defensive and the offensive. They will continue to adjust their portfolios based on their analysis of company and market conditions. Some companies will become less attractive and will be sold down. Some will become more attractive. And at the same time, they will be identifying those companies that will flourish when more normal conditions return, which they will. William Shakespeare wrote his greatest work, King Lear, during a period of quarantine. So I certainly expect a great deal from the Skagen portfolio managers over the coming weeks and months. Let me close on a more personal note. Many of us experience fear and uncertainty in times like these. This is quite normal. I know that from long experience. We fear for those closest to us, those that we love, and we are uncertain over what is happening and what it means for our long-term prospects. My elderly father is nearly 90. He suffers an underlying health condition. He's isolated and a long way away in Yorkshire. He is alone and he's uncertain. But I know from my experience that communication is the best way that I can reduce his uncertainty. My job is to speak to him each and every day, to inform him about what is going on, to ensure that he has what he needs. Here in Skagen, we have that same responsibility to you, our clients. We will continue to update you as regularly as we can and by all means at our disposal. And please do contact us if we can help in any way whatsoever. I'd like to close by offering our admiration and support to the uniformed services, particularly the doctors and nurses. Both of my sisters-in-law here in Norway are health professionals. It's they who are on the front line and who are the heroes of the hour. And we in Skagen are truly grateful for their efforts. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching and listening. Keep well, keep safe, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.